night coming.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? This is your boy Jay the Mass Creative right here in the house. We are here in the Grown Man Cave. Right here next to me, where he always be, is my boy
Scott TT Scott, what up?
And next to him, we got in the house our boy who's substituting for somebody who's on the screen tonight, but he's always here. That's my boy.
Well, nothing's changed since last week. I'm still John.
He's still John. And on the screen, we have, of course, the fourth member of the compatriot, Mr.
Van Gogh.
And coming soon to a chair near you is our boy, Mr. Nees, like Gang CEO. He's coming straight in from work, so he's a little delayed today. But we also have two special guests in the house tonight with us. We have at the bottom Miss Dawn Brown. What's up, Dawn?
Hi, my lovelies.
And not new to the podcast, but true to the podcast. He's been on a few episodes with us. Our boy Anthony Lido. What's up, Anthony?
What's going on, everybody?
What up, Mr. Sniper?
So, as we do, the Grown Man Clique, most of you know we are photographers, everybody on the panel. And then a lot of times we have special guests. But tonight we are all clicked up. We are all photographers on the panel right now. So that's power.
That's a first.
Yeah. And what we do normally is we start off with our GMC toast. So if you're drinking anything, you need to bring it up. And we always raise our glasses to a good show. And we say the same thing every time. I'm waiting for Van to grab his drink. It's over there, right there.
I left it over.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Come on, Van.
I know. Damn.
And you home. God damn.
Really?
Get it together, Van.
Man. No, I left my coffee over by the coffee pot, but I got it.
All right.
Good place for it.
Go to a good show. Clink, clink.
Drink, drink.
Drink, drink. All right, so what we normally do is we go around the room first, see what's been going on in everybody's life since the last time we were in these podcast streets.
Let's start on screen, man.
So let's start on screen. Van Gogh, what you been up to, man?
Oh man, just keeping my head together. I know I was telling y'all last week that I had like a bunch of family members die. Christy's brother John passed away. My sister's dad passed away. One of my aunts passed away. So between just wrapping my head around all that and trying to get all this stuff done, it's just been a lot. Haven't really had much time to do anything. I think this week I finished one design. It was like an Easter dress. But I've been working on that now for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's really all I've been able to get done with all this other stuff going on.
Okay. All right, Mr. John, what you been up to, man?
Nothing much. Got a shoot planned Friday.
Cool.
And just continuing paperwork with Sinai Hospital.
All right, the new job going in full effect. That's what's up.
Yep.
T.
Feeling, man. It's been a low key week. Unfortunately, like Van, I've had a little bit of bad news. I got a friend of mine who just found out that their tumor is inoperable. So I've been dealing with that. I've also got a cousin who passed away about a month ago. So I've been keeping it low, but I also want to shout out a good friend of mine. Her birthday was Saturday. What's going on, Mimi? And other than that, just hang around the corner from you, trying to hold it down.
All right. Cool. I guess we go to our guests. So, Don, what have you been working on? What shoots have you been into? What have you been doing? I know this is your first time on the GMC. But
I'm just over here trying to stay out of trouble. That's my usual. It's my usual. Actually, interestingly enough, I have been fighting with congestion since before New Year's, and it's apparently allergy related. So I haven't had much energy for nothing. So what I've been doing is been working on stuff kind of like in the background. Even when I did my last podcast, we shot like 3 or 4 episodes in one shot. There's podcasts where I'm like coughing in the middle of the podcast because I'm just like, it's what's happening. But I'm working on a book, putting a book together of like all of my water photography. And then I think my print. Somebody just decided they were coming on screen. I see you. But no, so I'm working on building that. And then I think my prints are actually going to finally go online this year for sale.
Well, I want to let everybody know, because if you don't know Dawn Brown is one of the preeminent in this area water photographers. She does a lot of underwater and waterworks with models. And if you haven't seen her page, if you haven't seen her work, you probably seen it and didn't even know it was her. But that is the young lady who's been doing all that fantastic water photography.
Yeah,
I love
you're missing out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you're missing out on it. So definitely
I appreciate that.
No, it's the
Awesome.
truth. Yeah. So Anthony, you ain't been on screen in a while. You've been in the peanut gallery almost every week. But what you been up to? You've been shooting. I done seen some cool shit come out of your camera.
Yeah, I've been doing some shoots, but I just got back from Japan for work, so I've been kind of just laying low for a little bit, and just trying to improve on some techniques. Last year it was about consistency. This year I'm trying to focus on some more artistic stuff. So I'm just putting some stuff in the pipeline. Hopefully that'll be coming out in the next couple months, especially how I like shooting outside. So I'm trying to put some things out there, just trying to change it up. Doing some fashion shows.
He said Japan like it was around the corner though. Man, I just got back from Japan.
I'm gonna be robbing your Batman on Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Nah, we partners, bro. Ain't no Batman and Robin here. We going in this. We going this superhero.
Right him, because we all know what happened to Robin and Batman.
So we got my boy Al General, another amazing photographer that's who said hi to us. Al and I worked together at the company that shall remain nameless for many years, and he retired before me. And just an amazing photographer. He's still doing some great work out there. Then we also have Harry in the Peanut Gallery. Be on soon, hopefully. If not, Mr. Lido got this. And then
Yes, sir.
beautiful, talented, and
July.
wonderful July High says, "Good afternoon, everyone." It's a little later than afternoon, July.
Miss
Where are you at?
July.
You on the other side of the country right now? You might be because you do get around.
Oh,
But
shout out to my brother. He kicked it off.
oh yeah, that
What
was
up,
Eric.
E?
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up, E?
It's still
Shout
light
out-
outside.
Shout out to Steve Bennett. He's,
Steve, what's up? Hey, Steve.
He lurking.
It's
Okay.
still light outside, so that's afternoon.
Can they tell you, or can you tell them who you are
Oh,
and
me?
what you've been up to?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling right now. My name is Preston.
Okay, we got Preston tonight.
We
We got
yeah.
Preston tonight.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen. Sometimes rich guy go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You put it in the back because Preston ain't with the shits. That's what it is.
Okay.
But I had a good day today, so
All right.
let's go. I'm
All right.
ready.
So we
Let's-
got Preston. What you been up to, man?
Oh, I've been chilling, man. Listen, I just been talking to you like myself,
Mm-hmm.
and myself answered me sometimes.
It happens.
Yeah,
As long as it answers you in the same voice.
it probably don't.
It depends how many
Kill the
followers you
rabbit.
have.
It
Kill
probably
the
don't.
rabbit. Kill
It
the
probably
rabbit.
don't. I'd be like Preston and Rich would be like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Nigga, I'm not talking to you." Shit, but it is what it is. I'm in good spirits, man. This week, what I've been up to, nothing much. You feel me? I've been chilling. I literally just been chilling, just getting back to me. That's the best thing I can say. Like y'all know, I come on this podcast and I speak. I'm healing. I'm dealing with personal things.
Right.
I'm dealing with business things. I'm
Yeah.
dealing everything. Like I should be selling drugs at this point.
What's
Like I'm just dealing everywhere. Yeah,
so what's stopping you?
Hey.
See, that's the cop. That's the cop.
And
You sound like a mark to me, man.
Yeah, it's just New York undercover over here.
so I got
You know that's against the law. That's called entrapment, right?
Yeah.
Shut up.
So I guess that leaves me. I've actually been kind of busy. As you can see, there's a new floor laid in the studio.
Listen, I wasn't gonna speak on it yet.
Yeah, but I
but
laid
I'm
a new
loving
floor.
it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, doing
Hey.
some spring cleaning. You
Hey.
notice the beige chaise is gone.
I got what? Oh, we'll talk.
The big one.
I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
it's gone. It's gone. So we
Oh,
moving
God.
on up, George and
God.
Wheezy style,
I
making
ain't
some
gonna-
changes.
I ain't gonna tell you not to cut you off,
Uh-huh.
but it's somebody
Mm-hmm.
that I love dearly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a client
Uh-huh.
that's like family.
Uh-huh.
She hated that bitch.
But you know what? It was old school and it looked
Yeah.
good on
I
a
get
lot
it.
of retro shoots, and so that's why I held on to it that
I
long.
liked it.
I liked it too, but it's
I
gone.
liked it.
She
I
gone.
look.
She gone. So besides that, I've had amazing
Those are
shoots.
phone
I
calls.
actually shot Bianca B. Mila. I shot Scarlett. I just shot Scarlett yesterday. Sajana, who is a new young lady that I shot, she just came through here and ripped it today. I was like, whoa. And big happy birthday, major league shout out to one of the newest regulars here at the Mass Creation Studio, but she's come through, made her impression, and has done some great work. We want to say a happy birthday today to Katari Canella.
Hey,
That's Katari, bro.
Absolutely.
Katari's birthday, and
Yeah.
She's been with us about what, 6 months or so.
6
So you know,
You wanna
and
tell-
she's
You want to tell them who Katari is?
who is she?
I ain't played a.
Oh, Katari is actually the young lady that's featured in the
Come on
intro.
now.
So when you see Rich walk in and she walks in and hands Rich the drink,
And Van.
and then when Van's showing his clothes, Kateri was in the intro. She actually guest starred in our intro because he needs a woman to hand him his drink.
Okay.
You know. So it's been a good weekend. I mean, we had good energy through the studio all weekend, and now it's time for everybody's favorite segment. Flowers or powder for you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the episode, and this is the part where we go through flowers and powder. And if you're new to the podcast, and if you've never seen flowers and powder, if you don't know what flowers and powder is, we're going to take it to the man on the scene, the man on the screen, my boy Van Gogh, and he's going to let you know about flowers and powder. Take it away, Van.
Cool. Oh God, that camera's horrible. Yeah. So Flowers and Powder is the segment of the show where if somebody's done something amazing for you, you can virtually send them flowers or a shout out or, anything like that. But if you've had one of those people that just, I don't know, gave you crappy service at a restaurant or just did something real stupid or was sitting there waiting for a stop sign to turn green, then yeah, go ahead and put some powder on them hands. Tap on that window, and as soon as they roll it down, just smack the dog shit out of them for being stupid.
All right. So if you have any flowers or powders that you would like to give, this is the time.
Yeah.
Anybody got any flowers?
I got both.
You got both? Go ahead, John.
Well, without getting into too much detail, my landlord.
Oh God, not again.
My landlord. I know
Here
he's
you go, the
old as
landlord
shit.
again.
No, I know he's old as shit.
Uh-huh.
He's a good guy, but he's so in a different reality with what should be going on versus what is.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't wrap my brain around his thought process.
Okay.
So, flowers to all the people at MedStar in Pikesville.
Cool.
That's right. The whole urgent care clinic.
All right. The whole urgent care clinic.
Yes.
Everybody.
I had some issues. They took care of me
All
very
right.
quickly, and everything went.
Swimmingly.
Yes.
Swimmingly?
Excellent.
Swimmingly.
Yes, swimmingly. You've never
Swimmingly?
used that before? That is an adjective
I ain't gonna
that
say
means
nothing.
everything went well.
Don't get him.
Any more
started.
flowers and powder?
Hey, listen, I got something.
Yeah.
I got something.
What you got?
I got something.
What you got?
I got flowers
Okay.
and powder,
Okay.
right?
Same person? Different person?
Nope. No. I want to
Okay.
say I'm giving flowers
Mm-hmm.
to unanimous people who tells the truth. Okay?
Okay.
For the people that like to lie, like I ain't the type of guy who keeps receipts accurate and tell you you're on some bullshit.
So
You're gonna get the powder. Oh, y'all getting the powder. Listen, y'all know I'm a nice guy.
yes.
Just don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right.
That's all I got.
Anybody
all I
on the
got.
screen got any flowers or powder they want to give out?
I'm actually give out flowers to the folks at REI. Yeah,
That's the new bike you just bought, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give out flowers to them because I mean they were really good.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's the second
2
week in a
weeks.
row.
2 weeks.
They treating you good with that
Wow.
new bike, huh?
Okay.
Yeah,
You sure you
Yeah, they
riding the
really,
bike or
really
you
are.
riding you?
like because
What?
like I said, it's
He's got
new.
that-
I'm trying to figure out what it can do, what the capabilities are. To get some stuff off my head, I put it through its paces yesterday and just wrote it, and to see like if the range was actually what they said it was going to be. And yeah, sure enough, it went like 38 miles on one charge.
Cool.
So
It's wrong
Yeah.
with y'all.
One of those sex bikes.
Talk about. Man, know I love him. Man, know I love him. It's just the
But
way
when
this
he
whole
said it, the way he said
It's
it was
like,
really
yo, What
bizarre.
we supposed to do?
What he said, oh my God.
What we supposed to do?
I ride this bike with no drawers on. Hey, fine
Yeah.
fellas of the GMC. Hope everyone is well. Smooches. What's up, Shauna? How
Shauna,
you
what's
doing?
good? What's good?
Yeah.
What's up,
We
Chaco?
Hey,
What's
Miss
up,
Shauna.
we got
Any more?
signed that.
Yeah. Well, you've got to sign it, and Van has to sign it. Me and
Okay.
Scott signed it.
Oh,
So,
ooh.
so anyway, if all hearts and minds are clear, it's time for us to move on to our subject of the day, and we're going to start with this right here.
So, what is TFP and should you shoot TFP? TFP stands for Trade for Print. And instead of exchanging, currency or money for photographs, two parties are exchanging services where one party is getting photographs and the other party is getting something in return. They're getting that other person's trade or service. The most common TFP or trade for print is when a photographer is working with a model. In this instance, the photographer gets really nice photos, gets to work with a professional model or a semi-professional model, and the model gets really nice photographs. So everyone gets really nice photographs and they get to use those on social media or for their portfolio to send out to agencies or potential clients. They are trading skills in exchange for everyone having nice photographs. The second type of TFP is when a photographer trades their prints or their photographs in exchange for a service. I actually do this quite frequently. So, for example, I take photographs for a local rock climbing gym, and in exchange, they give me a membership to that gym. This is something that really benefits me because I love rock climbing, and so I'm willing to take photos even though I'm not making as much money as I would if I were just taking photographs, but I get to have the experience of taking more photos and I get a free membership to something that I was already going to do anyway. But you don't have to.
So, I know you can't see us. There we go. So, that is the basics and the fundamental structure of TFP. And what the misnomer that we need to dispel is that models, it is not a free shoot. It's not just a free shoot. You don't get to be the only beneficiary of a TFP shoot. What I've noticed a lot is that photographers have been, to some extent, allowing models a lot of the times to dictate the terms of their TFP, which means the model's going to bring in their clothes. They're going to wear what they want. They're going to they're going to have their makeup done the way they want it. They want to have their hair the way they want it. Everything is what the model wants. And then you are taking pictures to their benefit. Whereas for me, part of what I do, when I sit down and talk to a model about a TFP, I'm going to tell them, one, yes, I will do some of the things that you want to do, but I also have some things in mind. If you reached out to me, yes, great, glad you reached out to me, definitely want to work with you, or no, at this time you don't fit the criteria. That's the podcast we did before, the word no. Excuse me, people are afraid of saying no. If they aren't going to benefit your portfolio, if they aren't going to fit the aesthetic of the shoot that you want, then you need to say no. Maybe at a later date, they'll be someone that you may want to work with, or maybe they'll never be the piece of the missing cog to your portfolio. But you have to set the ground rules correctly before you go into it. Also, a lot of photographers don't use contracts, even for TFP. You should be using a contract. I know I'm terrible at that because a lot of my TFP is basically long-term models that I've worked with and developed a rapport with, so they know what they're going to get. They know what I want. I know what they want, so it makes it a little easier. But nowadays, I see a lot of photographers, and I don't mean this in a bad way because I'm definitely a pro model photographer, but they kowtow to a lot of the models and give them what they want, from edits to outfits to themes, and they miss the point that it should be mutually beneficial. And that's where I think a lot of the problems come. And also, I
Can
don't
I
know.
chime in?
Yeah.
Okay. So there were a couple of things said in the video and a couple of things that you have said as well too. One of the things said in the video is the fact that it's time for photos or time for print. I really think it should be changed for time because that's really kind of the reality because you're not really getting printed photos anymore. You're just getting photos on the back end. The other thing that he stated in the video is the fact that they're getting like good photos. I think where the breakdown is on all of this depends on how somebody comes into the hobby community or the art community, if you will, based in the photographer medium, because the models aren't always getting great photos back, even when they're getting the photos, which is a lot of times why the models stop doing the TFP. Because they're dealing with the hobby photographer who's learning. So then, on top of this, you then have this catalyst of, okay, now you're dealing with the hobby photographer. Well, the model's now directing what's happening because the photographer is still learning. So unless you have that big communication at the beginning of here's what I want and here's what I'm looking for and here's why we're working together, I think you're always going to bump into that no matter what you do, because I think everybody's trying to find a balance between their skill levels. That's why so often everybody gets in an uproar when a model is like, oh, I'm charging. Well, they got tired of getting hobby photographer photos back and they're not necessarily getting more professional photos back. Because sometimes you have a hobby photographer, you have an artistic photographer that's gone beyond the hobby photographer, and then you have the professional photographer. It depends on what everybody's needs are in the mix. You made a comment about the about contracts. I don't do a contract. I should, but I don't, because we're always collaborating with our time and our creativity, and there should be a balance between the two, and it really should never be fully one-sided unless somebody's getting paid.
Right. And I agree with all of that. It's just that what I think is the problem is that on both sides, they're not doing their homework. They're not looking at the portfolios. They're not
Oh,
seeing
I
the things.
agree. I agree.
And,
I think
and
I still think there's something else to the homework though too, is who teaches it? Where's the book that you can read? Where's the school that you go to? So many people jump into this because of social media and content creation. Everybody starts making up their own rules, and then they bump into somebody who already had rules and boundaries, and they're like, this motherfucker, that's not how I do it. And then everybody starts going back and forth.
But see, that's the whole idea. Before you even get to that point, there has to be the one word that you used at the beginning, communication. Because
Absolutely.
I cannot, if you can't relay information to me correctly in a manner which is fitting to me to understand your level of professionalism, then I automatically say no, thank you.
Sure.
And
One,
a lot of us see the pretty face and see some of the portfolio work and we go, okay, I want to work with this person. But
sure.
I'm sorry if I'm gonna say it, if they dumb as dirt and they don't even understand what you got to do as the photographer, if they're not giving you I mean, and I know some of these models are just starting out, but that's the whole idea. There is so much variation of information that's on the screens in front of them. What model doesn't have a phone in their hand whenever they leave from in front of your camera? If they using it for all these BTSs and everything else, they should be looking at videos. I'm gonna play a video soon because even models on a professional level are giving out information to help them make good choices.
I
So
think
can I
I
jump in?
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
before you jump in, I would just like to welcome the sophisticated grizzly, Dearest Teddy. Dearest Teddy is here, and my man showed up. My boy Al General is here in the corner. Al is a photographer for many, many years. Excellent work. I've worked with him and his wife on many and many shoots, and just love Al to death. Thanks for coming in, Al. So,
I'll say what's
Hey,
up.
thanks for having me. Just
Al.
trying to see what's going on in the world again.
Oh, great. Well, we're glad to have you here on the whoa, I will almost say it on the Sophisticated Grizzly, but on the Grown Man Click podcast. We are family, so I do that often. But Anthony, go right ahead. I'm gonna give you main screen. I want to hear what you gotta say.
All right. So when I first started, I had no idea what TFP was.
Me either.
Shout out to Amanda Yoon. She was the one that actually explained it to me. I think I had put a post in one of the groups to work with a model, blah blah blah, and she started spitting out TFP, and I'm like, what is that? Um, so she educated me on TFP, and from there it just kind of grew into what I kind of wanted TFP to be after talking to other photographers. Because there is no set guidelines.
Fine.
There is one common thing, and it is a contract. And it's not necessarily, it's to protect both of you, because if it's TFP and the model ends up making money off of it, guess what? You should have made money off of it just for the fact that you put in the work to put the edits in. You did this, you did that. I think the communication is up front, but also that contract should also be in play. And I think a lot of photographers and a lot of models end up getting TFP kind of confused with the paid gigs. If you're asking a model to do her hair, makeup, nails, drive so many miles to your location and do XYZ, I mean buy clothes, that model's putting out, I'm just shooting out a number, a couple hundred, $500 for everything. Just say I'm not going to be. Don't hold me to it. Again, they're doing something, and then you hear photographers, well, I'm editing, it's my time, blah blah blah. I get it, but it has to be a mutual respect between both of you, because this person wants quality photos. You want to do artistic work, you want to do whatever, but it has to be a balance. You can't just say, hey, I want TFP for everything, and I need you to have your hair and makeup done. I've just never been that way. And for me, I think working with everybody, working with all the models that I've worked with, I think I've gained that mutual respect just for the fact that I'm not trying to dog anybody out. If I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna use this in a promotion or some kind of way to make money, I'm going to pay for it. But I think a lot of photographers end up forgetting that the models have a stake in it too, just as some of the models forget photographers have a stake in it. So that's where I think the contract kind of comes in play. It keeps everything kind of fair, because I will say I had my work put into a college book. Did I get any money for it? Nope. I didn't even know it was going into a college book for learning purposes. Did anybody pay me? Did anybody even get my authorization? No. So again, there has to be a mutual understanding up front, and I think that contract does come in play.
And I totally agree with you that part of the problem is that when models are monetizing your work and they're totally coming at it to monetize your work, then there should be something where there is not a trade, but it should be a paid shoot. Like for me, if you come at me and you want a birthday shoot or a maternity shoot, or you want your kids to come in for a shoot or something like that, whether I've done TFP with you or not, those are not trade for us. Those are paid shoots. That's how I keep my doors open here at Mass Creations, because I have customers who come in and pay for birthday shoots and pay for their kids shoots and pay for their maternity shoots. So if you come to me for something like that, I've lost models because they actually came to me and said, "Oh yeah, I wanted to have my birthday shoot." I was like, "No, this is TFP. That's a paid shoot." Oh, okay. I was like, I tell everybody going in before they even walk through the door, hey, birthday shoots are paid shoots. Now, there are certain circumstances where if I know in advance it's your birthday and I want to do something special for you for your birthday as a photographer, and I have a concept in mind, then I will do that. But if it's not agreed upon beforehand and you show up with a birthday cake and balloons and it's supposed to be a TFP shoot, nah, bruh. Nah. Put them back in the dressing room or come out your pocket because that was not the agreed upon deal.
So people expect too much free work from you.
They want real work for free work, or I mean, I say real work. It's like the work that pays the bills they want for free, and I can't do that. If I do
So-
that for everyone, guess where we'd be doing this podcast from? Our houses on the phones.
Shout out to
So-
shout out to Barry.
So what is everybody's definition, their definition of TFP? Because everybody has a different opinion. Like for me,
Thank you,
I
Ann.
will when shooting, for me personally, if a photographer is asking a model to do nudes or boudoir stuff, that's kind of a limit that TFP, you should be paying for that. I think TFP is more so fashion stuff.
I don't
Or
care about nude work. I just don't. It does. If I'm doing artistic work and that's something that they want in their portfolio, that's fine if they want it. But I'm not going to pay for it because I don't want to see you nude. I mean, if you look at all the podcasts that I've ever done, you will know that that is not something that I thrive on and I need in my portfolio because I'm a beauty fashion photographer. I don't have thousands of dollars worth of clothes laying in my studio because I want you naked. I want to put shit on you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's me. And I know some photographers, you know, and it's not just all lingerie. I have dresses, I have pants, jeans, shirts, skirts, blouses, coats, jackets, shoes,
Wings.
everything.
I might holler at you with the wings.
Because that's not something.
No, I got dibs, Ann.
That's not something that, you know, is really that important to me. And you know what? A lot of my TFP models love coming here and doing TFP with me because they don't need to be naked. This is the time when they can put on something and do fashion,
Exactly.
do beauty, and that's what TFP to me is. Or if I'm exploring something new, if I've got a new lighting concept or a new idea in my head that I need to get out.
So from what I'm hearing to you, and I know because you and I are kind of the same. I don't need to see nudes and all that, but you're kind of saying the same thing. Hey, fashion is more so along the lines, but if it's a portfolio that you want to, something that you want to add to your portfolio, you will do it. But again, what draws that line for TFP? Because if everybody's doing it and it's only thing on your page, then what's the purpose?
I think
Slow. Shout out to Pinky.
I think that's an amazing question, and if
Let's
I can,
explore.
let's dive deep into.
I
his
mean,
question.
I'll dig into this a little bit too, because I make clothes, so most of my stuff is like fashion stuff, and I really, like Jerry said, for me, I'm trying to sell clothes, so I really can't do anything with nudes or anything along those lines. But I've been asked to shoot that kind of stuff because of the trust that I've developed with that model, whereas she would rather shoot that with me than somebody else that she doesn't know and is taking a chance.
But that's understandable because when you build up that relationship with a model and they feel comfortable with you and they want to do an idea like that, that's great. But the whole idea is when your idea of TFP is trade for porn.
Right.
I mean, I know models out here that will crush, kill, and destroy anything you put in front of them, and they stop doing art nude and artistic nude, and they stop doing boudoir, and the photographers left them alone.
I feel like
wow, that's crazy. I don't understand that because if you're a good
that's
model,
you know why they love
that out.
Right. I mean, that's a should be kind of
Well, so there's another abbreviation that we're not using in reference to the fact that you guys are talking about TFP and nudity.
Trade for what?
No. There's another set of letters. It's called GWC, and that's always been part of the problem in the background.
Hey, guys with cameras.
Guys with cameras. We know we all deal with that constantly because and for the layman like my boy Sophisticated Grizzly, because he's not a photographer. He's the only one on the panel tonight that isn't a photographer, but he is an artist. But GWC, guy with camera, is the everyday guy that goes up to Best Buy and buys a camera and buys a flash, and now he wants to be he wants to photograph models, and most of them want the nude boudoir, the
All the
more
ones-
erotic models.
Listen,
You
all
know,
the one. If I can I just
Go right ahead.
Let me try. So as far as that, I've seen plenty of photographers' Instagram pages, for example, right off the bat. That's all they have. So
yeah, you can
okay.
tell.
Sorry, I just went sideways on the conversation, but
that goes and ties into the doing the homework part. Like, and let me play this because I've been wanting to play this.
Hold on. Don't play it. Don't play it yet.
It ties right in.
I don't want to
he doesn't
go
want to lose
against
it.
his question. Like, we still got to answer his question.
Well,
What
y'all.
was the question?
I feel like that's a good question. That's a good question.
Well, go ahead.
And we all got photographers here.
Well, answer it.
So I'm asking, what do TFP means to y'all?
I answered it. So
You did.
guys.
You did. Go ahead. John or Scott?
You're trading for prints.
Transfer burritos. Go ahead. Answer. I'm listening.
I don't have a deviation from what anyone has said. So
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I have nothing
all
to
right.
add.
Well, then let me go.
You trade your service for the service of the model, and you create.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to.
So for me personally, before you play your video,
Mhm.
because we gonna get to that. For me, TFP is for the game. I'm not doing it. I don't know you. You DM me and shit. Like, what
do you have to offer?
doing? Like, what we
Yeah.
doing right now?
So what do you have to offer?
That's for sis. That's for bro. That's how I look at it. People that I really connect with, that we know, that I know is about to do this shit on a serious level.
That makes sense.
You want to work with me for, let's be real, free, and say like, oh, it's TFP. No, you want my services.
So there's got to be something
Because you
that's
saw
beneficial for both parties.
Right. You saw something that you like. Now, if I see something in you that I like, it's cool. But most of the time, and I have a favorite model that I ain't never shot yet.
He's in the room right now, but she's off camera, so he's throwing shots.
Yeah. You know, threatening to punch me twice. I just want to say that.
She's looking for something to throw at him right now.
It's not about you. Calm down. For me, that's where I get my TFP from.
Right.
I go to my peoples.
Right.
I go to my peoples that I'm building with. Peoples that like, if I get money, you got money. You get money.
Where are these people with money?
Well, see,
they got it. Where is it?
Well, I mean, but and I
Somebody
understand
tell me what TFP
with
is.
somebody like me who's a full-time photographer, I have no other skin in the game. This is what I do every day. Sometimes, and you know, before I met Scott, I didn't know what TFP was. I was a paid photographer, and he introduced me to TFP in a way. But the whole idea is that in between my paid shoots, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm sitting here all day and I've got a shoot at this time and a shoot at that time, but I've got this big gap in the middle. What to do. But also, I don't want to waste it on something that's not artistic, that's something that's not going to be beneficial to my portfolio, something that I can't post.
Makes sense.
You know,
if you can't post it, it's a waste of time. Period.
Well,
but shout out to Jerry because he's been posting a lot lately.
But thank you. Okay. But the whole idea is that no, because I have, and this is where it gets the lines get blurred, and that's when it's content creation for people.
Yeah.
So I think
go ahead, Don.
I was going to say I think Al wants to chime in, and then I'm going to chime in a little differently when he's done.
Okay, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, my whole view on this is when you get started, TFP is a stepping stone to get into it. You get a little agreement. You don't have the experience to get paid for the gig, and there are photographers out there who need to practice. So you got models that have to practice. You got photographers that have to practice too. So I look as a TFP as a entry, as a little bit of experience and a little bit of a start. But if you're an established model or you're an established photographer, and it works both ways. You got a model that has a concept or needs to update their portfolio, by all means, they need to pay for a photographer to do that for them. The same with a photographer who wants to expand his shoot, expand his portfolio. He's got ideas in his head, and he doesn't want a new person coming in to do that. He'll want somebody that can take direction, that has some experience, and that the photographer should pay for. So to me, TFP is just basically the entry. But once you're established and you have set goals and objectives to do, and you're directed that shoot, and it could be either the model or the photographer that has that direction or that idea that they want to pursue, then that should be a paid shoot, depending on who's hiring who. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. And I just want to chime in just a little bit. And I feel like that is the goal, right? And when I talk about family, I'm talking about people that's just in your network, right? So what I was talking about, and you spoke on it, and I love that, is when you starting out, all right, it's cool. Like, I'm trying to get my feet wet. Let me show people what I can do. Like, let me show people what I can do. Then after you show people what you can do, like at a time, and we all, it's the grown man clip. After a while, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be on my shit. You gonna look at it like, all right, I know what I can do. What's up?
Right.
What's up?
Right.
Like that's how I'm moving. That's how I'm moving. I'm the youngest one too, but that's how I'm moving.
Yeah.
Listen, like you got to know when to draw the line.
Know your worth.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Know your worth.
Know your worth.
Come on, talk to him.
But see,
it's not just for models.
Right. But this is where the lines get blurred a little bit, because what if I see a model with crappy photography and I know they can't afford me, but I know if I take their images and I give them a free session, and I know that it will change the trajectory of their career.
Please donate.
You've got to do it.
All right. So
I've seen models with crappy portfolios, and it was because they couldn't afford good photographers. So
you know what that's called?
But see, that's also what Al said. It's their start.
That's a developmental shoot.
Yeah, it's a developmental shoot, and it's their start, but it's not my start, and that's what makes it the difference. Sometimes doing a TFP for a model and that's doing your homework, looking at what they've got, and knowing that you can add some substance to their portfolio and put them in a different trajectory.
And
sure, you're giving back. That's what I call that. You're giving back.
Right.
Right.
And that makes them G&G. Gang. Like I'm bringing you.
Right.
I'm on.
So let's go to this model comment right quick.
Hold on, Dawn had something too.
Yeah, let me read this because this is important. This is from my girl Pinky. I only get naked for TFP if it's someone I'm comfortable with and I am excited for the concept, or it's something that I would enjoy. Also, if they do good work too. I won't do it with someone who isn't going to help me look good by doing good work.
Right.
And Pinky is an amazing model. She has great energy. The young lady has the most extensive wardrobe I've ever seen, with the most amazing boots.
Oh yeah.
And she will tell you, we have only done one artistic nude shoot since she's been here, because I don't really do it. But we were doing it was a boudoir workshop, and she wanted me to shoot her, and I came. It took me 25 to 30 minutes just to set up for that one shoot that I took 25 to 30 pictures of, because that's my idea of, if I'm going to do something with some nudity or something, it's got to mean something. It's got to have some kind of artistic value. It's got to have a trajectory where it's not going to look like anything else that they've done before. And I brought out the what do you call them? I forget the name of that material, but the wings, not the big wings, not the white wings. What is that stuff called?
Tool?
No, it wasn't the tool. It's another word, but
goddamn
I can't remember. But I brought out the wings. I had smoke. I had lights under the bed coming up, and just just way overdone, like I do things when I get an idea. But the whole idea was that it was nothing like she had ever gotten before, and I knew that, hey, I've done it. If Pinky never gets naked in front of me again, I'm good.
Well, I would say this,
and she knows I love
did.
her. Right.
I never did, and I'm not sure if I know Pinky, but I never did any nude photo shoot for TFP.
Right.
That's why I keep trying to go against that.
Well, I actually paid her for the work, during the workshop, but that was
Journey,
not free.
I know who you are.
But
I got you, bro.
Yeah.
But no,
I want to hear what Dawn says, and then I want to chime in on that too, Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, and we gonna get there real quick. But I never did that. Like TFP was literally, when I think of trade for like prints or like pictures, it's literally that.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally that. It's like, you got an idea, let's do that. Now check this out. I got an idea. Let's do it. And y'all know me. I don't. Hey, take your top off. That's never coming out of my mouth. It's never coming out
I
of my
think
mouth.
that's the consensus of a lot of
It's never.
people that work here, is that we're not the top off gang. We're not the nude gang. We don't roll like that. We are artists. We love what we do, but there's nothing wrong with artistic nudes.
Man.
But that's
we
the
handle
thing.
everything in a
Now,
professional.
hold up.
I said there's
Hold
nothing
up.
wrong with artistic nudes. Just
Hold up.
people taking pictures of somebody naked, standing there looking like a crash test dummy.
I gotta let them know though. You log on to my OnlyFans.
Well,
his knees is a little different.
His knees are different. He does show his knees on
His
OnlyFans.
knees is a little different.
His OnlyFans is onlyknees.com.
Don't tune
You
in.
see knees.
Don't do it.
He takes a picture of his knees every 12 hour, every hour on the hour, so you can see him on different lights.
Sometimes I let the honey drip.
Okay. Well, let's go to
don't
Dawn.
let
I'm
him
gonna put you on the solo layout so they know that you're talking, Dawn. Go ahead. What did you have to say?
I can't with you guys. Well, first of all, I'm going to say I do know who Pinky is, and she's one of my favorite people to work with. And I shoot a lot differently than everybody in this group does.
Definitely.
And the difference for me is the fact that, like Jerry, where you have a studio and you're a paid photographer, if somebody asked me to shoot their family photos or their wedding, I would like to gouge my eyes out in the moment before I even respond to them, because I have absolutely no interest in that whatsoever. I fall into the artistic photographer category.
Definitely.
So everything that I do is about what I visually see when I'm in the space and how I choose to shoot it while we're in the space.
Right.
So it puts me in a weird position, because I don't ever look at anything as TFP. I look at it as collaboration. Now, I will say, Al, your description of it is so very valid, because that's how most people get into doing the TFP, is because they decide that they want to be a photographer or a model, and that's how they start. And Jerry, yours makes sense when you have that downtime. Of course, you want to take the opportunity to do something creative. Now, the way I go about it more often than not, because I look at it as collaborating, I'm going to go to an event before I'm going to reach out to a model to work with them one-on-one directly. And that's because it benefits all of us. So I may have to pay for that, that event fee for the studio time, but I now have access to 10 to 12 people as opposed to one model for whatever their model rate is, plus the time to travel to wherever I have to travel to, and then the time to shoot there, the time at home, all that sort of stuff. And actually, that's how I've worked with Pinky the most, is I just go to whatever event. We've talked about doing other things, we just haven't had an opportunity to. So somebody also talked about the fact of, that elevation. And I apologize, I don't remember your name. Preston? I think I got that right?
Yeah.
So there is a point for most people when it comes to being in this community. I keep referring to it as a community versus an industry, because when you're in a certain portion of this process, you're in a community until you get to a level that's more like celebrity, and then you're in an industry.
Right.
And so with that, and I'm going to use an example because I can use it from my own perspective. I never referred to myself as a professional photographer. It was the people around me who eventually ended up utilizing that title for me. I never gave it to myself. And I think sometimes what happens is sometimes people think their work is amazing for one reason or another, and then everybody else is like, yeah, not so sure. And then that's when you get people that they start going on rants about what this person said or what that person did or how dare they make that comment. And that's why you always have so much back and forth friction is there's different tiers to talent. You know, that there's that learning tier when you come in, that next step where you're like, oh, okay, I think I got something here. But very often what happens is most people get stuck in a comfort loop. So that comfort loop, of course, my light would go out while we're in the middle of that. That comfort loop is, okay, well, I figured out how to edit. Okay, well, I know how my camera settings work, and they stick to the same thing. So they go from here to here, and there's never this.
No
But
trajectory.
yeah, exactly. And they continue doing the TFP and then going, well, wait a minute, I should be paid by now. And then people don't want to pay them. And then that's when you get that rant on social media about, oh, well, so and so doesn't want to pay me. And, I've got 3 years into this, whether that's model or photographer side of it. So the TFP should be where you start. And then you have to make a decision on how you want to fit into the world. If you want to be a paid photographer, that TFP is just to get the experience.
Right.
And then you have to figure out if people really want to pay you for it and what you're willing to do for that pay. I have one of my friends that he's like, I'm a slut for photos. He's like, I will take photos all day long. He's like, you want to pay me for it? Pay me for it. He doesn't care what he shoots. Whereas for me, if I shoot something I don't like and I don't want to edit, you're never going to get anything from me because my brain literally shuts down and is like, nope, don't want to do it. Sorry about your bad luck.
And see, that's the whole idea. Even and I consider myself a professional photographer because
Absolutely.
that's my full-time job. But the whole idea with me is even if I take a wedding, it's got to be a wedding that interests me. I
Sure.
just don't take any wedding. No dollar amount is some. I tell people this, and I don't want people, and some of my customers, I don't want you to take it the wrong way, but I price my weddings where it makes me smile to do them.
Sure.
Because if I do a wedding, I want to make sure that they're going to get me at my best, and I want to do it. I've talked to them about what they want, the creativity, and most of them I've shot before their wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, and also I don't give out business cards or anything. If you know me as a photographer, you've talked to someone I've shot before.
Sure.
Because I want to make sure that you understand that this ain't no game. When I'm coming in for real. And I want to go to Anthony because he said he had something to add to it.
Whoa. Real quick. Let me just respond to the Queen Dawn.
Okay.
You feel me? Not Rich coming back just for 1 second. It's like getting CEO. That's what I do. Now I'm back to Preston, right? Back to Preston. No, I want to say I agree with you. What you saying, right? That's why I said, like, when I use the word like gang, that's mean like family.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm lucky because my family don't let me do shit for free. like Jerry will call me, ask me to do some shit, and he'd be like, "Hey, look, this what you got," and I'm like, "All right." I never gave Jerry a price. I never gave Scott a price.
Nope.
John, you did.
Yeah. It's okay.
You might get a price, John.
You might.
Shout out to base.
But that's the thing. Is like I don't do that because that's family. Like that's what we do. That's how I was raised. I was looked out for people. So when it comes to TFP, that's why I say it's for me. It's only for them.
Mm-hmm.
Those people that's in my close circle where I can pick up the phone and I can say, "Yo," and I ain't got to be like, "Oh, Ken, such and such, shoot this day."
Right.
That's what I mean when I do that. All right. So it's like I just want to be clear to everyone. It's like it's not everyone.
So you've got your crew.
Yeah.
You've got your crew.
Well, I think that's actually really common as people have a tendency to go through the learning experience. And I've heard this from both sides, from models and photographers, that what ends up happening is they have so many experiences, and obviously not all of them are great. So what ends up happening is they go from this plethora of people that they can have access to, and it slowly gets smaller and smaller and smaller, because they know that there are certain people that they can always go to, that one, they can trust that they're going to show up and do the work. They're going to trust that they can be, respectful, and you can collaborate, and all of the beautiful things that you guys can do together that you can't always do with everyone. So eventually, kind of like you guys doing this podcast, you guys have picked your people, essentially, or you've picked your fam, if you will. So you start there, and then everybody has a little branch of extra people outside of that, and then they all kind of come in and then they leave. Because I mean, how often have we seen photographers and models stick around for a year? Like, you just see them slamming social media and then they're gone for whatever reason.
And I do agree with that, because that's what makes this so great to me, and this is why I come in every week and try to do it. Because if you think about it, you have a crochet artist, right, in Van, who's creating outfits, right? Then you have a photographer who does boudoir.
Scott,
killing game, man. Shout out to what you doing. We're gonna talk later. Definitely need to talk later. Let's talk later. Then you got Jerry, who's brought everyone together. You feel me? And you got John, so we won't get sued.
You have to have your token white guy.
Hey, Don, you joke about that.
And then,
I forgot about Al. I'm sorry.
But I like being the token white guy.
The best of it, we have the greatest security, who's going to knock anybody out. Walk through the door.
Shout out to Jay Nicole.
So I also want to touch real quick, talking about.
Also, before you touch on it, you got a filmmaker. I come from the movie world. That's why me and Auntie get together. So like we get along so well, because I come from a different background, even though it's all camera work. So it's like you have a different collaborator.
You got to collab.
Well, but that's technically how it should be. That's really how any team should be able to build and grow.
Right.
Anthony, you've been sitting there waiting. Come on,
So,
give us what you got.
Oh, I'm good. I'm enjoying everybody. I'm enjoying everybody's comments.
This is
I'm
a
learning.
great topic and a great show. So I'm glad that everybody's able to add their 2 cents, because this is what it's about. Because the models that are listening and looking at it now get a better understanding of the photography side and how we look at it. So go ahead, Anthony.
So, for me, I like to give back. I think Scott and I met on an event that I threw down at Graffiti Alley, and it was me giving back to the models that have worked with me, and I wanted to link them up with some good photographers. So I put an event on. But I've started to notice with some models, and some of them ask me questions, it ends up being TFP for each photographer. And I started to tell the models, like, hey, you have to look at their portfolio. Right. If it's the same thing that someone else is doing that you've already shot, then maybe that's not the person you need to shoot with. The whole idea is to keep elevating yourself. So if you shot with this person and the work looks the same as another photographer, then you're not gaining nothing. Your portfolio is going to still be average. So when someone slides in your DM and like, hey, I'd like to shoot with you, or you're interested in collaborating, take a look at their portfolio. If it's something, and I don't want to use the word basic, but if it's the same type of stuff that you already have, then what is the point? And it does shut it does shut some people down, but also that opens the door, like, hey, my rates are XYZ. Again, it's a learning thing, and when models ask me questions, I try to give them the best answer. And if I don't know, I'll link them up with a model that will know the answer. Jerry, Scott, all of y'all, you know Yaz. I'll refer someone to Yaz in a heartbeat if I can't answer the question.
Right.
So again, I think it's all about elevating yourself and learning. And for me, I love the work the professional models do that who has experience. But sometimes me personally, I feel intimidated to work with them, that my stuff is not good enough for them. So I will tend to work with someone that wants to grow to that next level to help me grow. You know what I mean? So I think that's how I end up using TFP more so to help me elevate, and at the same time, I can help this person elevate to that next level.
And you said something that's really like it hit homes. It hit home for real. But like this could be another show. I'm just gonna say it. But it's like the confidence
Mm-hmm.
in what you do
Mm.
matters.
Yeah.
Matters. Like you said the word intimidation.
Yep.
I've seen your work, bro. Like intimidating. Nigga, you
Appreciate
serious?
it.
like what we talking about right now?
Right.
But like how y'all keep promoting Pinky, now I'm like, damn, she's that good. I might not be able to do anything for her. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
that's
she will, because she doesn't bring the same thing to the
Yeah.
same energy to every shoot. She's gonna listen, talk to you, and network with you, and find out what you need to add to your portfolio that's gonna work with her. And she's gonna come in, energy, outfits, great personality. She's gonna give you what she said she's going to give you.
yeah.
And what I would
But you
add,
see what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
when she leaves, you're gonna feel like that was worth my time.
and what I would add to that, and it's not about Pinky. Shout out to Pinky gang,
Yeah.
but you still you.
Yeah.
That's the thing we need to realize. We still us at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But see, like y'all been telling me, nobody really sees what I do anymore. Like when they see my social media page, they go, that's been up there for 6 years, because I have not gotten and bought into it. Like right now, if you have not seen the amazing work that Scott has done with his social media, I love what he's doing right now. He's showing his work, and he is killing the game. And it's not all boudoir. So he's showing that he does a lot more than just that, but it's showing him fully. And I'm trying. Like I said, I sit in that office and I'm like, I'm like trying to do, my best to do it. And yeah, you could get a social media manager, but I'm probably going to be like, I don't like that because I'm different.
Shout out to my partner, Digital Creations.
I just don't, to me, and that's not confidence, but it's that old school. Am I bragging because I'm putting this up here all the time? And we had that conversation
It's a
before.
difference between cocky and confidence.
Yeah, but I gotta put this up here because this is so important in the conversation, and then we'll go to you, Al.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm
so
sorry.
cute.
I just wanted to break up the monotony. I just wanted
That message was
that
sponsored
message
by the
was
Humane
brought to you
Society,
by
Baltimore County.
There we go.
All
But
right.
no, it's like
For the record,
I need to do paid
I
work.
didn't go off.
No, we're not.
I want
You
to shout out to
Not
that
yet,
scene
not yet.
also in the peanut gallery.
But Al, what were you adding to the conversation?
Well, I've been doing this a long time, and I mean a long time.
I got 30, and you got how many?
I got over 40.
Yeah.
I started with a camera. I'll put it to you this way. I started with a camera called a Rapid Omega. How many people here have ever heard of it? Hey, we got two. Okay.
Is that
Google it.
animation?
No. It's a medium format.
One of them joints that did
6x7
this
camera.
shit.
Pretty close. It's a 6x7 format.
Smile.
I was beyond flash bulbs, though. I didn't need those. Anyway, I've been doing this a long time, and and it's when you sit back and kind of reflect all the work you've done. One of the things I've noticed is you know, am I really a photographer or am I just a hired guy with a camera? And there's a lot of jobs where I was just a hired guy with the camera. There was nothing creative about it. I just had to deliver an image no matter what the job was. You know, I did weddings for over 40 years. I did portraits. I've done sports, action, you name it, I've done it. I've done large groups. And now that I'm getting
Entire schools in one.
older in my years, you know, you start to reflect back. And there's one thing that's always been missing, and I think this will probably help out a lot of you, is the fact that every time you photograph, before you press that button, you got to think, what is the narrative? What is the story?
Yeah.
What am I trying to tell from this camera, you know, with this camera and this person or whatever I'm photographing? What is the story? There's a line that I keep hearing and it makes a lot of sense, is not to photograph what you're seeing, but photograph what you're feeling. And it doesn't matter what the subject is. You know, I just heard a gentleman say that he was intimidated by a model. But maybe that's what you need, is to work with that model. But start off with a narrative. Start off with your concept. What am I envisioning that I want to do? You know, I know enough about lighting that I can do any kind of shot. I can copy any kind of picture. You know, Jerry's worked with me quite a few times. You know, I've done just about everything. But now I want to get to the point of what's the story, what's the narrative? You know, before you put up a single light, how do you know how to light it until you know what the story is?
Right.
So that's one thing that seems to be missing from a lot of photographers. You know, a lot of people love the cameras, the lenses, like playing with the gear. I was a gear junkie. But in the end, the gear doesn't matter. It's what's
The
your
photographer.
vision, what's your story, what are you trying to say? And I don't care if you're doing nudes, fashion, landscapes, it doesn't matter. It's got to have a purpose, it's got to have a story, it's got to have meaning. And that's the 2 cents that I want to get across there, that before we press that button, that's the question you got to ask yourself.
And a lot of
that
people
sounds
miss
like something that would.
So I definitely want to speak on that because that's real, right?
I was just going to say before that sounds like strong advice. You know, if you're doing street photography.
Yeah.
No,
That's exactly what I was thinking. Street photography.
I think it's anything when you have a camera,
Yeah.
or a pen. I want to bring
Grizz.
into this shit as two writers. We both know that's the first thing we thinking about was like what story we're telling.
Right.
You feel
Half
me?
of the story is already told before you start putting it on paper.
There's an image
So
in your
you pretty much got an idea. You basically seen this movie in your mind before you started writing it.
right.
And so
Yeah.
that's I'm guessing that's how photography is. You kind of see you envision this movie, and then
It
you
should
play it
be.
out. You bring it out on in camera. Like, what am I seeing? What am I looking at? And that's
Definitely
kind of like
should.
what Rich was saying. When we write, I see that whole movie before I start writing it on paper.
Yeah, I think one of the problems with social media right now is everybody's trying to copy something they like.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. And it gets repeated and repeated and repeated. And to find that individual who stands out gets really tough now because it's so diluted with everybody copying everybody else.
If one more
Things
girl
like
comes in
you
here
got to
with
do your own
jeans
search.
and
You got to do
roses,
your own soul searching to see
Hey,
what
Al.
really excites me, what's my passion, and pursue it in that direction. It may be good to just step away from social media and just find what you really have a passion for, and that's what you use your camera for.
Yeah, and also I go a little deeper into it. It's like also we're talking from photographers, right? Like I'm looking at creators here, right? So I'm counting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creators. That's one side. The person who have the idea who can't create what we do or what Don do or Al do or Grizz do or Ant do. They need us to collab with that, right? So it's also that part right there. It's like Oh, my vision. You know, I do this a lot because that's what I see when people out here you talk to, they be like, my vision, my vision. Right here. Chitty chitty bang bang. Listen,
Well, I want to chime in on two things.
Okay.
We've talked about nudity, and I didn't talk about nudity when I was talking about collaboration. So I have absolutely no requirement for nudity at all. But because I'm a female photographer,
It hit different.
it exactly. So it's always one of those things where I don't have any skin in the game, if you will. Like, I'm not trying to hit on a model or anything like that. So a lot of times they're more comfortable going, hey, I want to do this. Can we do this? Whereas Al's right in the sense of, putting some sort of like emotion or feeling like in that moment of what you've got. And then when Preston, when I hear you and Grez talk about, planning it all out, I am a horrible planner. And it's actually what works in my favor, because I will do, when I go to the events, I have no clue what anybody brought. And one of my favorite things to do is I'll go, okay, what'd you bring? And I will take a piece from here, a piece from there, a piece from here, and I'll go, okay, we're gonna go shoot over there. And then that's what we do. I had no plan coming into it other than the fact that I was meeting new people. And I think sometimes the difference when it comes to creativity and why people get burnt out is because they feel like there is, they had a mentor and the mentor told them, oh, you should do this. And it's that thing that they focus on, and they focus on it for so long that they go, well, wait a minute, I don't even like this. Why am I doing this? Because somebody told me I was supposed to do this. I can't tell you how often I hear that. And a lot of the people in the community right now, I'm getting the same narrative from photographers and from models. They're either burnt out, they're not shooting what they actually want to shoot, and they're not even 100% sure how they landed where they did in shooting what they're shooting. I'm not a studio photographer. I will avoid a studio in a heartbeat. Just put me somewhere that's got something interesting and I want it. And I would rather it be outside with natural light, and I'll use the light however I can find it. I'll use lighting, I just hate it. So I think, did somebody say something?
No, it's
Okay.
There's a little echo, but you're good.
Okay. So I think what ends up happening for most creatives is there comes a point where they make a decision on whether they're going to keep going or not. And so many people don't keep going because they feel like they're going nowhere, because there's no sense of purpose. And I think that's the difference sometimes, where somebody's, willing to shoot everything because they look at it as a business perspective of, I have to shoot so that I can actually create the art that I want to create here. Or like most people in the photography world, they have a full-time job that pays for their hobby, because it ends up being a hobby because there's this hump that nobody seems to be able to get over when it comes to getting paid. And one of the things that I've noticed is I know a lot of photographers that have studios. When you can reach that studio point, or if you're a traveling photographer, seems to be where the money has a tendency to open up. And it seems to be where they can become that full-time thing. And I don't think everybody's built for it. I think everybody wants to do it because they know they need to fund the thing that they want to do, but I don't think everybody's built for it.
You know what's so funny though, Don? When I see your underwater photography, all I see is stories.
Oh, absolutely. But all of that's done there.
Yeah.
That's not something that's pre-planned. Like, we might have an idea of an outfit concept or an overall scope. But one of the ways I work with the models is, one, I ask them if there's anything they've been wanting to shoot. Two, I ask them if they have an idea. And then I go, okay, well, I like your idea. Can we add this? Or, here's an idea I have. Do you have anything that works with that? Because I never have any expectation that they should purchase anything prior to working with me. Right. So if you already have this stuff, great. If you want to buy something, that's great too. But I will usually work with whatever they bring in whatever space that we're in. And I will tell somebody in a heartbeat if I hate what we're shooting. I'll be like, nope, this isn't working. We got to go somewhere else.
Well, they walk out the dressing room and something just doesn't look right. I'm like, that's not going to work.
Yep, absolutely.
And
but
go right ahead.
That's something to be said too, is some people some photographers and some models can get away with being direct. I have been fortunate that I can get away with being direct because I try to make sure that it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not aggressive or it's not negative. Be like, I don't like those fishnets with that. Can we try something else? Can we try it without? Can we try it with leggings? And giving options versus, oh my God, I hate all of that. Go put something else on. And I
Right.
think if you can deal with people and you know how to work with people well, you should always be able to come out the other side with something worth doing something with.
Right.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, I have
Yeah,
always had a woman here with me. Like, if it's not my sister, fucking Kara. But it's like I have someone here with me, so it's like I always consult. Right, as being a male photographer, it's like, yo, I don't like this shit. Like, this shit ain't hitting. And she was like, I got.
Or you
that.
knock on my door.
Yeah,
You be like, if I'm here,
or I come to Scott and then be like, hey Scott, yo, this is what I'm trying to do. Like, help. And, you know what I mean? Like,
all right, let's go.
yeah, like so I get it, but I'm also I'm very direct. Like, I hear what you're saying, being a female photographer, and that's dope. But like with me and my clients, it's like I don't I don't hold a lot back. I'm honest. I'm an honest guy.
So you're an asshole.
No,
Wow.
but
That's
I
what
Well,
it
think it's
sounds
more.
like.
I think it's on the delivery. I think it's on
yeah,
the delivery
yeah,
because I had someone when I was first starting out I was telling them like spread their legs,
oh
instead of
Lord,
using
no.
space your legs apart. I think it's on the delivery, the words that we choose.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
Um,
and
with that, it's
and
game.
I
and
had
your
to learn
actions,
that.
and your actions as like a director. Like, if I show you, I'm not scared to do this shit.
Yeah.
Do it, like, do it. So then you looking at me like crazy, like, oh, this, this, this
Because
5
nowadays you got people suing everybody. You know what I mean?
I ain't scared to
You,
look stupid.
you just got to be careful of how you speak to people because people take them certain ways. You don't want someone to misunderstand it as a sexual harassment. And
Hmm.
Professional way
so
to
that's what I've learned over the last couple years is how to choose my words correctly,
Yeah.
or like asking permission. Can I move the hair off your shoulder? I mean, it's a matter of just respecting someone's boundaries.
and
Right.
one thing that I've noticed about me is that even though I'm really good at attention to detail and stuff, if I think that a woman's eye will work better at some point, which usually it can, but most of the time I'm pretty good. Like the other night, I was in here shooting a brand shoot, and I mean, the young lady was gorgeous. She had beautiful hair, and it just so happens that Jay Nicole was here, and I left it all to her. I was like, "Can you fix her hair? Can you fix her hair?"
Shane Puncher.
No,
Oh, I was
no,
See,
and
now I'm convinced.
and
I'm convinced that
love you,
yeah.
gang.
women, in my own way, I'm convinced that women really know what's up.
To
I
a
mean,
certain extent,
I've
but
seen
I
a
could
lot of
see the
stellar.
problems. But the whole idea is I knew she would be way more receptive to Jay Nicole helping her because she's a model and she's a woman, and she did it in a way that was non,
Yeah, it's not
threatening.
threatening.
Look, can I
Whereas
tell?
I would have went up there, here, it's
That's
a
what the
guy
problem
thing.
is,
We
Jerry.
want to fix it quick,
I
and
want to tell a
she was
small. I want to
brushing the
tell a
hair and
small
making
story.
sure it was neat and everything was
I, I,
dope.
I want to tell a small story because those who know me here knows that I always have someone here with me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never alone. like,
Not
Man.
on, and especially
it's like I'm
big
never.
big thing. If you're ever shooting a new model, please don't shoot them alone.
Facts.
Please
I'm
don't.
never alone.
Always let them bring someone, or you have someone with you. I know that people get comfortable in knowing how professional they are, but if nobody has a second set of eyes on you on some kind of way, I feel until you've built up a rapport and feel comfortable with that person, it's
100%.
hard for me to shoot somebody
Now,
one
let
on
me ask
one.
you, Jerry. Let me ask you about. So I don't have the luxury of having a second person.
I've been all your shoots here. I've been in the building.
No, you've been here.
Yes,
right. But as
If you
far
need
as actually
security,
having
she right
somebody besides you know, side by side with me,
right. I mean, not side by side, but at least somebody
in the
who's
room.
here.
Right.
So that they don't feel like they're isolated, you know. And that's where guys get a little cocky about it. Like, I ain't going to do nothing to her. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. But yeah, you have no rapport and you don't know what you're walking into with new models. If you've got a rapport with them and you've developed over the, you know, time that you've shot, it's a lot easier to be alone. But
well, that's how with the few people that I've worked with, we've known each other for a while. It's not a big deal.
So let me get back to this story real quick, right?
Right.
It was a client that I had right recently, and I probably get killed for telling this shit. I had took a photo.
But you're gonna say it anyway.
I'm going to do it. You know me, right?
Better call Saul.
I'm gonna do it. I took a photo and I said, yeah, I don't think the sitting down photo flatters you.
Oh,
hold up!
Damn, you done fucked
Hold
up.
up! Those was my inside thoughts.
Oh, you kept them inside,
right?
Okay,
because y'all worked with me before.
Yeah,
I show photos first before I say what I gotta say, right? So when she goes, she was like, "Do you think I need to stand up?" I go, "Yes." Yes, and that broke a wall to know I'm showing you this shit do not look good.
Well, can I respond to that? So what I've done is every so often I'll stop, let them look at the pictures, and let them decide what they like. All right, let's take a look. Or at the end of a photo shoot, we'll sit down before she leaves. I'll give her the camera. Delete what you want.
No, they ain't deleting shit.
Well, no. I'm with the person, but I know.
They ain't
so y'all want to hate on me? Wait a minute. There's a process behind this. Y'all motherfuckers want to laugh and hate on me
because they'll delete the picture that you think that you get a perfect Rembrandt light on their face with that beautiful triangle, and they be like, "I'm dark." Delete.
And models don't kill me. Some of y'all don't know how to work a camera. Y'all are going to delete some wrong shit.
But what they don't
fuck me up.
The stuff that they like. Now I've had an issue where I've liked something and they didn't.
Right.
So I kind of work with them. It's like, well, kind of. And if they're dead set, what am I supposed to do? Post something that they don't like?
No, you don't have to post it, but you can keep it for yourself if you like it. That's part of trade. That's that. And I wanted to say this earlier, so let me get this thing because we're almost to the point where we're about to wrap up. We only got about 3 minutes left, so I want to say this.
I need you to clean that part up.
Hold on.
Because what you said was a little wild.
and this, hold on. This goes back. I don't want to lose my train of thought because I've been holding on. Bro. But this goes back to something that Don had said earlier, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose it. But what happens sometimes, especially with these younger photographers that are out here now and the newer photographers, is that they are so enamored that they have someone in front of them who's willing to work with them, and they got them, and he can't believe it, that they totally let them do whatever they want to do. Okay. And there is no litmus. There is no gauge. They're just like, I can't believe she's working with me. I'm just going to let her do whatever she wants to do. And then when the girl doesn't post their pictures and doesn't go back to them, they don't understand that they gave them nothing to feed off of. So they didn't like what you gave them. Right. So
it goes back to my narrative.
Right. Go back
they didn't
to
have a vision.
establishing the story.
Or they tell you they got back problems and they hurt and shit.
You know, I mean, it's.
I will say.
I want no smoke.
No, I was gonna say. I'll say I don't actually share any photos while I'm shooting. If I really, really like one, I will show them really quickly. But I never share any of the photos with them unless they're edited.
You know, well,
they only get 4 to 5 photos from me.
Well, see, that's your lane. For me, I give them everything, and they get it by the night that they leave.
You got
Mhm.
Yeah, and the
I got one
reason
question to
why
ask.
is because 90% of what I shoot, I love, and the 10% that I don't, they usually like it too. But I only edit a certain amount.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with that because I'm not letting any garbage leave here, period. Or even when I'm working on offsite or whatever, I'm never ever going to let any garbage leave out of here. I treat my camera like it's a film camera.
And it's not
I
even
show people the photos to help build their confidence. If they're, depending on who it is, if like they're scared or timid, I
Right.
show them like, oh, this looks good. Look at you making it happen. And next thing you know, it helps them feel confident and they can now move on and do what they want to do. Usually that works for my clients. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to pose and stuff. So we walk through it. Then I show them the pictures. And next thing you know, they're off doing their own thing and they love the pictures. But
Go
I
ahead,
do give,
and,
Now, how
and,
I
many?
give
and
them all the photos.
y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but like when y'all show them, they get more like to go with your confidence.
Excited.
They get more into it.
Yeah.
And they
I have a
create
question
more
though.
fight.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for the whole group. How
Yeah.
many of you shoot tethered to your computer?
I want to.
Technically, I am, but basically,
All my portraits are tethered to a computer. And they get to see them on the computer as I'm photographing. And then when they're done, they can actually go through and star the ones they like. But it's always, probably 4 or 5 shots into a shoot. They can walk over to the computer, see the direction it's going, and then we can take it further from there. But once
Yeah.
you start shooting tethered to a computer with a large screen, oh, that's life changing.
I think
Well,
I
I,
think
I
we're working
can I
on
say
that
it?
at the
Can
studio.
I say
Can I
it?
just say this right quick? I
Oh.
use SnapBridge, so if any of you shoot,
I was gonna say that shit.
and
was
if
gonna say
any
that
of
shit.
you haven't gotten or haven't looked at SnapBridge, I use that. I have a what is it, a 13 or 15 inch iPad?
Yeah, it's a tab. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I have a 12-inch iPad, and it's a tethering system that works through Wi-Fi, so it automatically loads the pictures onto my iPad, and I hand them the iPad, and they can
No,
star
that's pretty
pictures
good.
as well. And
So
Yeah,
this
I use Capture
Good.
One, and I use a
Yeah.
tether tool cable, so I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi. And the nice thing about using Capture One is you plug in your camera and it recognizes it right away, and it makes it super simple. And then every picture I take will pop up large on a screen, and
Yeah.
then we can go through the whole gallery. They can star the ones they like, and so on. And it has really changed my portrait. I mean, I just got done doing a large job for a big company the past couple of months where we were doing over 100 headshots a day, and we were
Right.
doing it all tethered with people able to see it before they left the room.
Well,
so I think go ahead.
go ahead, because we're getting ready to wrap it up. We are
That's
actually
fine.
go
So
ahead.
what I was going to say is I think the tethering works really well when you're doing client work. Like for me, I'm not doing client work. I'm shooting whatever I'm trying to create. So I'm not shooting tethered. I also do action photography too. So there's no way I'm shooting tethered, doing
Oh
action
no, you
photography,
can't.
being out in the middle of a drifting pit. So I don't I don't fall into the same category.
But Al, the whole idea is that with capture with the system that I use, the Wi-Fi is just between the camera and the the iPad. It doesn't have to talk to a Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah, I got the same thing going through my camera app, and I can use it with my iPad. I got that same kind of system. I just find because the one nice thing about the way I tether is I get an automatic backup. It stays both in the camera and goes
and
right to
on
the
the
hard drive.
computer. Yeah. So I just want to do one thing right quick before we wrap up, and I want to give the screen to my boy Sophisticated Grizzly. He has a podcast every Wednesday night, and I just want him to tell y'all a little bit about it before we close out.
Really? On Wednesday night?
Yes.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me, son.
Come on, guys.
Every single Wednesday night, come check out the Sophisticated Grizzly. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are also, on X now, and we are on Twitch. So come check us out. We get into all kinds of trouble. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And Hell, sometimes we even get into arguments, and that's usually when we having fun. So
Yeah.
And check his latest Teddy files. He just dropped it this afternoon.
He is a resident sommelier, which means all of the fragrances behind him he has vetted, and they are amazing. I listen to him for all of his fragrance choices and selections. So definitely, please check out the Sophisticated Grizzly. He has one right there. What is it, Bentley?
Yes, Bentley Intense Brandy for spring.
Somebody said they're muting my speaker so I don't buy more cologne.
That's my brother. That's my brother Eric.
Yeah, because he got some amazing choices. But let me just thank everybody. Dawn, Anthony,
Thank you.
Al, thank you for coming in. You know you've been a friend for over 15 years.
Hey, Al, if you can stand by after we close down, I have a question for you.
Dearest Teddy, thank you so much for coming through. Sophisticated Grizzly. We want to thank Van for coming in. I know Dieris is not even feeling good, but he's always here. So we definitely love you for coming through. And Van, we know what you're going through, so we love you. And as we say every week when we close, do good, do really good. But if you do bad,
do right, keep your butthole tight.
Do really bad so they know that you meant it. We love you guys. Have a good evening.